Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of While We Walk podcast, where I share my thoughts for the day. Today is March 7th, 2024, and so I ended up trading again today. I got another loss, but I was extremely fortunate. My only loss was $100, and that's because I updated my trade copier, and I forgot to put in the contract that I wanted to trade, so it just ended up trading one contract. So if I had that trade copier on, I would have lost, give or take, so that's 3 times 7 is 21. So 21, let me do the math. 2,100 plus 2,200. I could have lost potentially 2,500, give or take. And the fact that I was able to not copy trade, it was just extreme luck. So I'll take it. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it. But I didn't do any trades after that. And yeah, so that was this morning. What else? It's kind of gloomy today. There is no forecast of any rain, but I feel a slight drizzling. But I don't need to wear a hoodie or like my jacket hoodie for that matter. It's so light, but it looks like it's gonna stop. And yeah, my plan of action today. So I'm looking to just finish some of the habits that I haven't done. I took the aptitude test, study for the data science examination, but I'm just waiting for some funds to come through. Now, if these funds is going to come through, then I'm going to be put at much more ease, in my situation right now. But once the funds pull through, I'm going to be in a good spot for a minute. And so I'm just waiting for those funds to go through. What else is there? I guess we could talk about leverage. Yeah, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Now, at the beginning of the podcast, I mentioned that I was using a trade copier to copy trades off of one account to my other 8 accounts for a total of 9 accounts. And the power of leverage is a two-edged sword, because you could lose a lot, but you could also win a lot too. But the prime benefit of leverage is that you could do more with little. And I'm just going to attempt to utilize the leverage in order to take advantage of certain things that you wouldn't have if you didn't have that leverage. And so, like, for instance, a lot of people don't know this, but people, like, I saw like a post saying, how come the rich don't pay taxes, right? So the way the rich do it is that, let's say, for instance, Bezos, he could borrow against his stock. So he has billions worth of stock, and he could pull out debt. So he could pull out, let's say he wanted $1 billion in debt. He could pull that out, and that's straight up $1 billion in cash. And he doesn't have to pay taxes on it because he has equity. He has equity that he's using his leverage against. So, and let's say the debt expires, he could roll it over, meaning he could get another $1 billion debt to pay off that debt, to roll it over. And so equity is huge in that respect, because you could keep on doing that if you have a tremendous amount of equity. And that's how you could pretty much get away with avoiding taxes, because by pulling out debt, you don't pay taxes on that. You only pay taxes on the equity you sell. That's the only time you actually pay taxes on it. And so you're essentially incentivized not to sell your equity, you know, because of the taxes. But if you need the money now, debt is the way to do it, you know. And that's the trick with all businesses or large businesses. It's all about line of credit and expanding that line of credit. And so it's easier to do it with a business than personally, in my opinion. But that's why it's kind of beneficial to own a business. So I'm essentially, maybe sometime, depending on how well I do this year, like I may create an LLC, and then, you know, potentially, because then what you could do is you could open up new lines of credit and then use that credit to what you want to do to help your business. You follow what I'm saying? So if your business is making a lot of money, your line of credit, and you start using credit as a way to build it, you could use that to your advantage. And so credit is huge when it comes to everything, whether it be getting loans, getting approved for certain things. And so understanding how to utilize this credit that you have is actually crucial as a businessman. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leverage the type of credit that is available to me and attempt to create some income with that. Now, it took me a long time to realize that, you know, there's a lot of people like I forgot his full name, but Ramsey is his last name. How you want to pay off your debt, and that's true for the vast majority of people that don't understand how to utilize your cash or money. But for those that understand how money works, and for those that are confident that they're going to make a certain amount of income, you could use that debt to buy time. And that's essentially what I intend on doing. Now, if things don't pan out, that could be you could be left in a horrible situation. And so you kind of got to know what you're doing, and you got to understand what you need to purchase with that debt, you know. But that's why leverage is a two-edged sword. You do not want to buy depreciating assets with leverage. You want to buy appreciating assets. But dude, if you understand the power of leverage, and you use that leverage to kind of, let's say, double that debt, whoo, you could do a lot. You could do a lot of damage. Let's leave it at that. You could do a lot of damage in terms of growing your debt to your advantage there. And that's what I intend on doing. I'm basically going to leverage myself to the gills here so that I could buy time, because time is everything, you know. Time at this stage of the game, I'm understanding how, as each day passes by, I'm realizing the importance of time, something that you could never buy back with anything. And so I'm gonna use this time that I have on this earth to hopefully make some sort of impact. That's my plan of action. I feel I bought myself enough time to take on this risk, and the risk reward, in my opinion, is going to be exponential. The risk is really small. I just lose what I have, but the returns, I see a lot of potential in the upside. So I'm gonna have to so my only I know what I need to do now. I need to trade, and I want to grow my YouTube channel. But my plan of action is also to create a separate YouTube channel to see if I could create an additional source of revenue. Just create multiple YouTube channels and see which one works, and then apply them to my existing channels. What else is there? That's one avenue. Another avenue is going the like a software route, where you create a piece of software, and but the first things first, you need to come up with an idea. That's the hardest part that I'm still trying to figure out with the available time that I currently have. Because if you work a 9-to-5 job, you don't have time to really think of the different ideas that you have in your mind and implement it. Because usually after a 9-to-5 day, you're exhausted, you know. And it's really hard to get something off the foot. It's possible, and it's generally recommended that you have a 9-to-5 if you don't, you know, if you have current bills to pay and you don't have enough savings in the back end, you don't have any ways to grab cash through credit. If, you know, in those cases, obviously you still need to work 9-to-5 and try to get out of the rat race. But if you have the means, it's worth giving it a shot. I gave, like, in terms of like working on my own, I gave poker a shot. That didn't pan out. Trading, I've been always trying to trade for a living, but that still didn't pan out. In terms of businesses, I never really had an idea of what type of businesses to do. But now that I know a little bit of coding, I know how to utilize artificial intelligence to my advantage. And now it's just a function of finding an idea and providing something useful for potential clientele. Obviously, first it has to benefit me first, because I have to see how good it is. And so a large portion of my time now is going to be devoted to finding out different ideas, utilizing the certain skills that I've developed over, I'd say, a couple of years of coding. I've been coding, give or take, a couple of years now. And with artificial intelligence, it's going to kind of speed up my process in regards to coding. So that's one option. I only intended on getting that data science degree because, like I mentioned in previous podcasts, I wanted a large source of income to save and then go out on my own again. But I kind of realized maybe this bad job market was a blessing in disguise, because I also know once I feel comfortable, I'm not going to want to do anything, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be stuck in the golden handcuffs of working a job, getting used to it, and before you know it, you're 60, 65, and you have only a few years left, you know. I mean, depending on how you live, you might live another 20 years, but just your energy levels, like you had when you were younger, is a lot less, obviously, at that age. And I feel I don't have a partner, I don't have any children. There's nothing, the only thing that's going to be weighing down is myself. So my thinking is, might as well just go all in on this. If I fail, I won't regret it. I'd regret working a job for 20 years, looking back, saying that I didn't take this risk right now. And that's the way I'm thinking about it. Looking 10, 20 years down the road, thinking, what if? I don't, fuck the what ifs now. I have to use this as an opportunity. There is no, the type of income that I want and the type of assets that I want, it's not going to be accomplished by working a job at this stage of the game. It's basically time to leverage what I know out of all the years that I have lived and just going in, you know what I'm saying? And there's definitely going to be bumps and bruises, but that's par for the course. I've had these bumps and bruises. I know, like, when I was in a really tough stretch, what I did and how my psychology was. And that's the benefit of experience, because with experience, you're aware of that type of mentality you were in when you were in that quote unquote down streak, which is bound to happen, no doubt, in becoming an entrepreneur. But I also feel like a little dose of energy, knowing that it's possible, you know, to succeed on this. Even though statistically the odds are against me, I know that the different experience that I've developed over the years, it's gonna basically increase my odds, even though, like I said, nothing's guaranteed. But yeah, after this walk, I'm gonna finish up some of my habits. Going to I don't know, maybe I'm just contemplating on what to eat right now. I'm just contemplating on what to eat right now. That's pretty much the only thing that's currently on my mind. And try to think of ways to you know, create extra capital. Instead of working for capital, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just focus on building this software that I'm really doing. Is I'm just like basically creating the program, one little snippet, and I'm just like uploading to GitHub, and that's it. And that's not what I want to do. I want to finish a lot of the projects that I've been working on. I purchased a course on AWS, kind of go through that momentarily. Most likely not, but just basically start building stuff right now, because that's the only way I'm gonna know how software works, and just construct ideas. In terms of my journal, I gotta be more detailed with my journals. I'm extremely in terms of the journal. It's too little. I need to put more in my journal on what I need to do. So yeah, I intend on doing that as well. I mean, we'll see what happens. So there is a benefit though of having a 9-to-5 though. The security that you have with 9-to-5, even though it's not guaranteed, you know, obviously, the type of security that you have, you know, knowing that a certain amount of income is coming through, it's a good feeling actually. There's no not as much stress, in my opinion, when I was working that 9-to-5. So yeah, this entrepreneur isn't for everyone, you know, this lifestyle. But I feel like it's worth it based on my circumstances. It would have been a lot different if I had someone to take care of, like a child or something. But since I don't have that, you know, might as well go in. Like, if you look at a lot of these comedians too, if you look at comedians in general, the ones that are successful, they were years where, like, even the comedian Bobby Lee, there were years after he got a lot of nice gigs where he wasn't making any money for long stretches, and it took a long time for him to actually become like a regular. And then after becoming a regular, a long time to you know, do his own show. And for a lot of people, I think it's 10 years of like just barely scraping by before they make it on top. I didn't put my all in terms of any type of business or like trading. I was just doing it here and there. But the fact that I know I've done it on and off for 20 plus years, it's kind of giving me that push, you know, that confidence. But now, filling in the time, and that's gonna be idea generation. I gotta do some coding, because, dude, man, if a good software, if I could develop a good software for myself, and if I could find a way to monetize that software and then kind of market that could be a great thing going forward. But with that being said, my wrist is ringing. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode of While We Walk.